Want to speak real English from your first lesson? Sign up for your free lifetime account at EnglishClass101.com.
Hi everybody, my name is Alicia. In this lesson, I'm going to talk about using a little and a few and few. I'm going to talk about the little differences in using an article and not using an article with these words. So let's get started. Okay, first I want to look at a little versus little. So before we talk about using this article, I want to mention we use little or a little with uncountable nouns, so nouns that we cannot count. If you're not sure about countable or uncountable nouns, please take a look at the videos on our channel. There are a few example videos, a few other videos you can check to learn more about countable and uncountable nouns. So we use little with uncountable nouns, nouns that we cannot count. We use a little to mean simply a small amount of the noun. So using a little has a very neutral feel. So neutral means it's not like positive, it's not negative, it's very neutral, very flat. Depending on the speaker's intonation, it could be a little bit positive. It could have a positive feel about it. So that you'll just have to listen to the person speaking or to think about the situation. You need to do that. But in most cases, it's just very neutral. There's nothing positive, nothing negative. Then little, so no article here, you'll notice. No article, little, means only a small amount of the noun, only a small amount. So here we have a negative feel. Oftentimes we have a very negative feel, like there's only a small amount of something and that's bad, and that makes a problem. So we use no article to communicate this only feeling, like this only and that's too bad sort of idea. So let's look at an example of this. First, we have a little time. We have a little time. And we have little time. So first, time is an uncountable noun, so we're using little there. But we see we have a little time. Like we have a little time to finish this project, for example. So showing with a little here, or rather by using a little here, we're communicating a very neutral point, just a simple fact. We have a little time. Or maybe if I'm excited about something, I could say, oh, we have a little time. We can do something extra for the project. Then it feels a little bit more positive. However, in the second sentence, we have little time. That's usually the intonation we use. We have little time. So that sounds like there's very little time. There's only a little time. So that's another way to say that. But we have little time sounds like perhaps there's not enough time, or the deadline is quickly approaching. So there's not much time would be another way to say that. It has a negative feel about it. I'm going to save this example sentence, this pair, for a little bit later because there's another point I'd like to make. But let's keep in mind that this use of the article communicates a simple fact and no article communicates a negative. Okay, so let's look at this same idea with a few and few. So we talked about using little and a little with uncountable nouns. Few and a few are used with countable nouns, nouns that we can count with 1, 2, 3, and so on. So just as with a little and little, a few communicates a small number of the noun, and it's just a general, like, neutral kind of fact statement. There's no positive, no negative, unless the speaker chooses to create some feeling, like they use their voice to make the situation or to make the statement sound more positive. We can use a few to do that. Using no article creates this negative feeling. So using few means only a small number of the noun. So there's that negative feel again there. So only a small number, like there's not enough of something, or it's too bad. So something negative perhaps has happened. So let's take a look at an example that uses few and a few. First, he gave us a few ideas. He gave us a few ideas. So you'll notice, yes, a few with the article here. And don't forget your S. So this is a countable noun, idea. We need to use the plural form, a few ideas. So he gave us a few ideas, a general fact, just a simple statement. Or if I'm excited, I could say, he gave us a few ideas, like I sound happy, I sound positive about that. If, however, maybe I had some expectation, like this was a really creative person, I expected lots and lots and lots of ideas, but he didn't give us a lot of ideas. I want to communicate that. I can say, he gave us few ideas. He gave us few ideas. So we keep this ideas in the plural form. The only change is no article in front of few. He gave us few ideas. So this shows that like we maybe had some expectation or we hoped for something different. So he gave us few ideas and that's bad or that's a negative thing. So when we want to communicate this using few or little, we use an article or no article to change the feeling, to change the nuance of the sentence. Okay, so I want to continue by looking at these last pairs of example sentences here. So I explained in both of these cases that using no article creates a negative feel, like in most situations, I would say. However, if you're dealing with a situation where your noun is a bad thing, so I've made a note here. If the noun in your sentence refers to something bad or to something negative, then the feeling actually changes. The feeling becomes positive when you use no article. So let's look at this example sentence first, or this pair rather. So in this case, my noun is pollution. Pollution means like a dirty environment, like dirty water, dirty air, some kind of environment-related problems. So pollution is a bad thing in most cases, I think. So pollution is a bad thing. If I want to make a sentence using little or a little, because pollution is an uncountable noun, I could say the city has a little pollution. So that's a statement of fact. The city has a little pollution, yes. If I use no article here though, the city has little pollution. Actually, that's a good thing. So we're saying there's only a little of this. So because pollution is a bad thing, using little shows there's not a large amount of this bad thing, and that means it's good. So if this noun is something that's negative or that's not good, then using no article is going to create a more positive meaning there. So let's look at one more example. Same idea, just a different noun and a different word here, few. So let's look at this countable noun, problem. So problem is a bad thing, a negative thing in many cases. So problem is something we don't want. First, we have a few problems. We have a few problems. So again, just a simple statement of fact. So I'm probably not happy about that. I would not say, we have a few problems. I would say, we have a few problems. So there's a negative feel with this, actually. Same thing over here as well. Second, though, we have few problems. So this means only a small number of this thing, this bad noun in this case. So because there are few, a small number of these problems, this sentence expresses a good situation. So we have few problems. That's a good thing. So in cases where your noun is referring to something that's not good, you can actually change the meaning if you do not use the article in front of little or few. So keep that in mind. That's just kind of an exception. In most cases, though, you'll see it used as I talked about in the beginning. In most cases, it follows this rule, this negative feel. But just pay attention to the noun that little or few is modifying, and you can kind of understand, should it be a negative feel or a positive feel? Okay, so this is an introduction or a quick lesson on the differences between a little and few and a few. So I hope that it was helpful for you. If you have any questions or comments, or if you want to practice making some example sentences in the comment section, please feel free to do so. Of course, if you like this lesson, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel if you haven't already, and check us out at EnglishClass101.com for some other things that can help you with your English studies. Thanks very much for watching this lesson, and I will see you again soon. Bye-bye.